started. So welcome to the Renku feature preview. To our external collaborators and contributors, thank you for joining. So the purpose of the Renku feature preview is to share and discuss the new developments and features that are coming in the next Renku releases. The purpose of this meeting is also as a shared space to encourage questions from our community and to allow people to meet the team and learn a little bit about our approach to developing Renku.
Are you recording?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So to set expectations, the purpose of this meeting is not a polished presentation, but rather this is behind the scenes look at the features that are coming presented by the folks here who have been developing them. This meeting is also an actual live team meeting, so some of the things that we're going to see are also being seen for the first time by folks on the team. So while the discussions may at times dive into fairly technical, we do encourage questions from the community. Please don't be shy. So today we're going to be presenting a couple of big highlight features. So we have Renku Apps presented by Wes. Excuse me, it's an easier way of sharing web apps and dashboards on Renku. Then we'll be talking about Renku Project Storage, which is a much simpler and also more performant way of storing your data directly on Renku, which will be presented by Jean-Philippe and Eike. Then we will be sharing an update to the very new Renku jobs that improves logging, which will developed by Flora, but will be presented by Tasco. And then we have as well some contributions from our external collaborators at EDAP from Salim and Sandra. So to get started, Wes, would you please go first?
All right. Share my screen. Right. Let me do that. Thanks. So should I zoom in a little bit? Okay. All right. So last time we did a feature preview, I previewed apps, and it was just the back end. So I'll present it as a full thing again, but maybe I won't go too much in detail about the back end unless there's any interest in that. What we have, so what we look at here is a Renku project, which has a data connector, a code repository, and an app launcher, which is a new type of launcher to go alongside the session launcher, which has been around since the beginning, and the job launcher, which is obviously recently added. What's been quite good developing the app launcher is that I've been able to piggyback on the app launcher work a little bit, which is going to make things easier and be able to see exactly what I need to do to add a new type of launcher in. I can't imagine it'd be maybe add another type of launcher at some point, I guess. I don't know, but I can't think of any right now. So this is a project which has an app launcher. It's a public project. That's probably the first key requirement to mention about our apps, is that they only work on public projects for now. The reason for that is because it's going on. An app is just a web application, a web service that we host on Renku that can make use of Renku's other components, such as being able to use the data connectors, being able to link to your project and such. So basically, it's a URL, and that's why we want to keep it. So just as a first way to keep things safe, everything is public basically. Anyone can access this URL. So we really don't want people hosting things on here that they don't want to have open to the whole world. The app launcher, as you can see, it looks a bit different from a session launcher. We've got this little kind of pulsating dot here, which shows that the app is live. If I click on the open button, it opens in a new tab. It'll open the app. This is a Streamlit app, and as I said before, this one here uses a data connector, which is defined in the Renku project. Getting that working was quite important, I think. People are going to want to have their data connectors hooked up to the apps. The one thing we've had to do on the data connector side again, this is all a public project, so we don't want people connecting their private Google Drives or their other sensitive data to this. So we only allow data connectors to be attached to apps which don't require credentials and don't have a OAuth configuration. So that means Dropbox and Google Drive are also excluded. If you click on the app launcher and you scroll down to this on the side panel, you can see, first of all, you can see a link that you can use to share it. I'll go into that a bit more in a second. But you can see here the data connectors that are mounted. So if the data connector is listed here on the side panel, that means it will be mounted into the app. Just like a session, it uses a resource class. Again, that's kind of depends on what access the person starting the project has got, starting the app has got. This particular one is, if I can see, if you try and create a new launcher, you'll be presented with this app launcher option here. If we click on that, then you can either create the app launcher. You can have the app environment be created from code, similar to how we do it on the jobs or the sessions, or you can bring your own container image. I think that to bring your own container image is quite self-explanatory, but I think the more interesting part is this create from code part. What we've done here is we have, well, again, this is me piggybacking off the work done for the jobs. We used to have it that you had to pick, when you create from code, you had to pick your environment type, so in this case, Python, and you had to pick a front end, VS Code or whatever it was. We have a new type of front end, I guess, which is kind of custom or none, which we have for jobs. And we use that here as well. So we don't add a user interface to your app here. That's all your responsibility. What we do have is the way that we allow, well, the way that you can create an app from code is you have to have a proc file in your in the root of your repository. I'll show that in a second. And this is just some information on how to actually, because it's the user's responsibility to get the app running. We have to obviously kind of provide information on how we actually want you to present your app, and that's this bit here really. As I said, this one here is built from code, so we can you can edit things like you can normally on a session, for example. You can edit the environment, edit the launcher, the environment variables. That's all editable. Although, and yeah, again, the environment variables, you got to be aware that obviously that this is a public project, so don't be adding in any environment variables that you don't want people to see. Yeah, and we also have this ability to see the logs. Now, this is a bit of a tricky one because the Streamlit apps, sorry, the Renku apps, the kind of good feature about them is that when they aren't being used, they scale to 0, so they don't use any compute resource. So when someone tries to connect to them when someone tries to connect to them, they haven't been connected to for maybe an hour or two, it'll take a little bit longer for it to start. You'll get a lobby page, so you can see that the app is warming up or being woken up again. And then the pod will be created in the background. That means at the moment, well, I'm sure when we see what Flora has done, the persistent logs, we haven't got that set up yet for the apps. So if there isn't a pod available, you won't see any logs. So if this is scaled down, you won't see any logs here. So that's hopefully something we'll fix in the future. We have, as I said, this is a demo app here for the Streamlit, and we also have a project here where we have an R-Shiny app. This is the lobby here you're seeing. So that's going to be, if you go onto an app that's been awake, been asleep for a little bit, you get this lobby here. It'll take a few seconds, then it will launch itself. But yeah, this is what you get when you share this URL here to other people to be able to see your application. They'll also be presented this, and this is obviously available to anyone who's logged into Renku or not logged into Renku. Yeah, give it a second and it'll warm up.
You said you threw the proc file with.
Sorry?
You said you threw it would be cool to see a proc file.
I'll show that. Yeah, I'll show it in a second. This is the R-Shiny app here. So this is basically the same thing as I have here. No, let's stream it, just using R. And it's all, as I said, all the data is in the data connector. Let me show you the demo project here. We have this repo here on our a public repo on our GitHub, where you can see the what we built. Hopefully, these are the two I've shown here, the Streamlit app here. Oh, sorry, let me zoom in again. You can see this is the one we have here. This is the Streamlit version of the application. And we have this file here, which is really kind of the thing you really need to have in the project so we can, sorry, let me zoom even further. This is the thing we really need so we can launch it. So you know, we need the app to listen on the environment variable, that the Renku session port. That's kind of the important thing here. And the proc file is what the build pack strategies will detect to be able to say, okay, we're not going to add in a front end for you, and yeah, that's how you build an image for that. And obviously, the smaller the image, the quicker it will start. So there is some incentive there to not add necessarily add a front end there to your application. Anything else I should show? We have some kind of features in place so that if you do change your app from being public to private and you update it, then we will shut down the application. So that in a second that will be turned off, because we don't, as I said, we don't. And then same thing goes again if you try to if we create a copy here of this application, just 2, and we create it in private. And if we go to that project, I can't create an app launcher here, right? That does that runs disabled here because it's a private project. Yeah, this is back to the normal one. Is there anything else anyone would like to show or any questions? I'm sorry, there's so much to this. I feel like I kind of lose track of what I'm showing and how much was to show and what the interesting parts are.
Are the URLs stable?
Yep. So if you, this is quite important. So when you click on the open button from the project, and you get to this, this is actually quite good. It's not started. That's good. You get to this URL here, which is what we call the lobby, and this is also where you'll be sent if the app is, this is if the app's being shut down, but also if the app isn't, if the app's still woken up, this is the same page you get. And this URL you get up here, that can be shared. That's a stable URL. If you instead, if you go to the, and as I said, this is the reason that's been shut down is because I changed this app from being this project from being public to private. If I swap it again now. Oh, okay, great, of course. If I go, all right, let's go here instead. And if I open this app instead, again, here's the lobby. Give it a second and it will launch that one up again. Okay, well, let's just show you here actually. This URL here, when you're actually in the app, which at the moment, I mean, on the development app environment, this ends with apps.dev.renku.ch. It will, on production environment, it will be renkulab.app. That is not a stable URL, so that should not be shared. Maybe at some point we'll make it a bit more stable, but at the moment, the best way to share the URL with other people is to use this this here. And the other part of this is because I said that the URLs might not be stable here. The other reason is because when the app needs to wake up and you're not using the lobby URL, it will just be blank for like 10 seconds, 50 seconds, so people might not, might click off if they're not, they might get a bit impatient with it. But yeah, that's what's going on there.
But you get the proper URL from the side panel.
Yeah, the best way to do it is to go. I've go here and click the copy of share link, or go into the side panel and click the what we call the share link. If you are I won't go into the API stuff. Yeah, that's how we cool. That's it. Yeah. One last thing to mention: we don't mount secrets into the apps, and we don't mount code repositories into the apps alongside the non-public data connectors. So we're quite strict at the moment on what we mount and we don't mount into the application. And there's also one application per project. That's the other restriction we have. That's apps. Any questions? Yeah.
I think someone asked this before, like in Slack or somewhere, but the apps have no volumes tied to them. Is that right? Or
correct? Yeah. At the moment, they have no volumes. So if you in theory did create an application that had a, let's say, NoSQL database on it, when the app scaled to 0, so when no one's using it, it would then be wiped because there's no persistent block storage at the moment. Again, this is something that we'll probably, when we look at project storage, we'll probably look at adding that in there. But at the moment, yeah, there's no persistent storage at the moment for apps, you know. And maybe crucially, it will also consume from your resource pool, right? So if you have an app running, it takes resource from the resource pool. Right. Anything else?
Any questions from our community? You're also welcome to use the chat if you don't want to have your video on the recording.
What's the status? This is not live? So it's not.
This is currently live. This is live.
Yeah, and if it's not live,
If it's not live, it just doesn't show anything.
anything, you have to launch or.
Yeah, then you
Start.
have then this button here. This actually, if I can maybe show it. If I go back to the project here. Yeah, so if it's not live, again, this one's disabled because we're on a private project, but it will just show the start button here.
Yep.
And if it's an environment built from code, it will have the build button there as well. Yeah, that's
Instead of start.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I could try it now. If I go here, if I click stop app, it will then have the stopping.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm not zoomed out again. Let me zoom in again. There we go. You see, you can have those. You can see it's stopping now. Yeah, and then yeah, it takes a while to do it, but that's the idea behind that. Yeah.
If the app is stopped, but you share the share link, it will start it.
We can show that straight away if you want to. We can show that. You can see I'll copy the share link here. Let's go to it. Oops, that's the wrong. That's exactly the problem when you have the non-share link, right? I copied the wrong link there.
Okay, yeah.
So this is the link that goes. Okay, well, that's redirecting straight away.
I think now it's being shut down, so it's getting.
Maybe that's why. If we go here, up the share link. Okay, it's a bit hard to get into it.
Is that when it will have it had a start button?
Right, yeah.
On that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it was.
You'll get the lobby again, but it'll just say this app isn't published right now. Yeah, the start button will only show if you're actually if you have write access on the project.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, that may be important to say. If you obviously it's a public project, but only people with write access can start projects, can view the logs, can start projects. It's not something that anyone could just come in and change however they want. It's you have to have write access to the project. So if you owner or an editor. Yeah.
So it works different than a session launcher that is not per user. It's like a.
Yeah, it's essentially a session launcher that anyone can access. Sort of, I guess that's maybe the best way of putting it. And it starts quite quickly as well. That's probably the best way to describe it. Yeah. There is documentation as well. I won't go through all of it, but there's lots of stuff here on how it's different from a session. Okay, that's the launch session, but like how to publish an app again, everything I've kind of gone through here. The share URLs, this is all in the documentation that'll be out when the app launches. Oh, sorry, when the feature launches. Yeah. Thanks, Wes.
Thank you.
No other questions?
All right, in that case, the next feature that we're gonna demo is Renku Project Storage, which is developed by Jean-Philippe and Eike.
Hello, do you hear me? Yeah. So yeah, I will present the project storage feature that we worked on with Heike. So as Laura said, the idea is to have a data storage for projects that is directly provisioned by Renku. And this allows to persist data in sessions and jobs. For the moment, it's not available for apps, this kind of new storage. Also, this feature, at the moment, it's only available for allowed projects. So an admin has to add the project in an allowed list to be able to have this to have access to this feature. So here, for example, I have a test project 4 that has been allowed to have project storage. So if I go to data section and click on the plus button. Now there is a new tab here where I can, in this test project 4, I am the project owner, so I can manage the project storage. This is only available for project owners. Only the project owners can manage the project storage. Also, you can only add one project storage per project. And as it's explained here in this info box, only the project owners and project editors will have read-write access to the storage, while the other users will have a read-only access. Here, so I can set the storage size. It's been defined. It should be in between 1 GB and 10 GB. And I can also set the mount point for this storage. And then it appears, once added, it appears here in the list of with the list of data connectors. So we have this new entry here. If we click on it, we'll get the side panel, which displays also the parameters that the project owners define. I can also edit the parameters, or if I'm as a project owner, I can also delete this project storage. And then if I go in so here it's test. If I go in the session, if I launch a session, it should mount this new storage in the session, in the test, in the working directory, in the test folder. So once it starts, I can show you this. Maybe in between I can show how we can. So in the admin panel we can set up this. We can add projects to the allow list. So there is now a new section here to add projects and set up the maximum available size for the project storage. So this is where the admin can manage the project storage allow list. Okay, so go back. So now you see I have this new folder test where I can add some data that will persist when you shut down the session. Okay. Are there any questions on this?
When you showed editing when you showed that you edited the project storage, and you said you could expand the storage, is that correct? You can. Does that work? Does that actually expand the volume? Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, it should. You should be able to expand the storage. I think it's not possible to shrink. That's what we. Yeah.
Does it do it live while it's mounted?
It's supposed to, according to Azure, it's supposed to do it even live.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, that's good.
Don't interrupt your session. We need to test it. I think I tested it. I can't remember if I tested, but I don't think Azure would, I would trust the Azure docs.
And is the configuration for the storage type in the Helm chart?
Yes, so it's in the config file for like in the values file, but it will be passed on to the project storage in the database, and so later on we are able to change it.
How you can change it via the API?
Not yet, but that's something for the future maybe. But it's
know.
prepared that you could change it via API. Now you would need to go to the database right now to change
And
the storage class.
this works for jobs as well already, I assume, right?
Yes.
Okay. What happens if you have a job and a session running at the same time?
They both see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
they're
And
both-
both can write to it?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Mhm.
All right, great. Perfect.
But it has to be the storage class that you pick for this has to be rewrite.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But
So,
read write menu, I guess, right?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So if any admins are watching, if you pick we don't check what the storage class is. I think when you pick it, we just trust that you picked the right one. But
No.
if you pick the read write single one, I don't know, if it's not read write many, the sessions, as soon as one session starts using it, the other ones will not be able to start, so. And I think this is enabled by default. I think it's not, right?
No, it's not. I think we disabled it by default. Yeah, so it's mandatory to set the flag to true and also to specify a storage class that will be used for all storages.
So I guess the countdown's started on getting this in apps then, probably, right? If it's in sessions and jobs already. Good.
The countdown.
Yeah.
Right, any other questions?
Did you decide something about the icon?
Didn't decide some, could you be more specific?
Because there was a problem with that icon because the specific icon for storage is from Adobe stock image.
We can swap it later.
Later, okay, it's not urgent. It's more important for me, you know, icons, colors, typography. Okay, yeah.
Break that icon.
Is that the final icon? Okay. Thank you.
All right, well, the one final note, although welcome questions, for this topic is that we will be, as, Jean-Philippe showed, we're rolling this out, feature out a little bit slowly. So this is a kind of new for us to be hosting storage on our own. So if you would like to be given access to this, feature, please just get in touch and we'll put you on your project on the approved list for being able to use project storage. All right, then the next topic is for jobs and having better login functionality for the new Renku jobs.
Okay, so yeah, just I'm just showing this off. Flora is the one who worked on it and she's on vacation today, so I'm just doing the demo. But she did all the work to implement it. Basically the issue that this feature solves is that so I guess I can go on anyhow. You've probably seen on Renku Lab that basically on Renku Lab, and this is currently not deployed, but it will be in like a week or two. So on Renku Lab, you can only see the logs of a running session or of a running job while it's running. In the case of sessions, once you shut it down, you cannot see the logs. In the case of a job, once it finishes and you have another job, I think you can see the logs maybe for like, I don't know, 10 more minutes or something like that, but not for a very long time. And there's a bunch of reasons why this is the case that we're not going to get into, but yeah, that was a limitation. And I think for sessions, it's maybe like okay-ish, but it's also annoying. But for jobs, it's especially bad because the intention of jobs is that you have many, you launch many of them, they run and they finish, and then at some point you may want to go and see what, I don't know, the job that you launched yesterday, what it produced. But if you can't see the logs, then it's really annoying. So that this feature addresses that problem. And here I have a random project where I've added a job called test. Doesn't do anything exciting, but it produces some logs. And I also added a session. So for the session, what you see now is that you have this logs history. And if you go here, you will see that I've launched one session half an hour ago, 29 minutes ago, and one 2 hours ago. And if you click here, you can see the full logs from like from what that session, what the logs produced. And as I mentioned, for jobs, this will work on any old job. I think we have a specific limit on how long we'll keep the logs. And I think by default, it's maybe 7 days, so we won't keep your logs forever. But this is also something we can, I think, perhaps tweak. So if someone has strong opinions about that, I guess, let us know. But it'll still be better than 20 minutes or whatever is the case now. And also, I think you can get the same thing here. If you click on logs history, you'll see you basically see all the jobs, and you can see the logs from like all the jobs. This one failed and it only had one container. But if you go back to like one that succeeded, my job just lists some files. It doesn't do anything exciting, but you see all the containers in the job, and this is the one where your job is actually running, so you can see all the logs that it produced. This currently does not extend to apps because the features were kind of developed in parallel, but likely, like it's not complicated to extend it to apps, and likely in the future we will extend it to apps. But I think even now, Wes can remind me, not everyone can see the logs of the app.
You have to have write access on the project. You have to be an editor on owner to be able to see the logs on the app, yeah.
Yeah, so that will be the same, where the apps are public, but we suspect that maybe there's stuff in the logs you don't want to share with any random person on the internet. So we make the logs more constrained on the apps, and the apps will also have, we can have some history on like this app produced these logs, like, I don't know, from 2 days ago or something like that.
How does it work on the, sorry, how does it work on the job? Can anyone see because session jobs is scoped to the user, so only the user can see the logs, right?
Jobs are the same.
Oh, same. So even if you have multiple people in the project.
Yes.
Okay.
You can only see the history on your
okay, all right, okay.
On your jobs.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're an admin, there is Flora updated the documentation page on how this is done. Currently, it may not mean anything to most people in the call, but currently this works only through Loki, which is a log aggregator for Kubernetes. So if you have a different log aggregator, we cannot unfortunately support this, but anyhow, let us know, and then we can try to work something out or come up with a more general solution. But this was a real need for us right now, and the easiest way was to just implement it for the log aggregator that we have, but we can expand it in the future. So yeah.
Okay, any questions? All right, then next, invite our external contributors from EDF. Samuel and Celine, to share what you've been up to.
So you're seeing my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, good. So basically, what changed on my side is something that we can see on the admin panel. Let's see it there. So before we had the ability to add resource pool that would connect to an HPC grid through Firecrest, and there was a few things. First, we would not forward the requests for CPU, GPU, and RAM. We would simply reuse the system and partition that was set in the resource pool in the resource pool. What happened is that we basically could only have a single resource class per resource pool, and we couldn't have settings like that. Which means that it was fine for CSCS grids because the minimum node allocation is 1. So when you request a node, you get 1. For us at EDAP, it's a bit more annoying because we share the node among many users, and we needed a way to forward both the CPU, GPU, and RAM. And we also needed a way of, once we are launching a Renku session on a HPC node, if the port is already used by someone else, because the nodes can have jobs for many users, then the session would fail because the port was already used. So we needed to select a free port dynamically from there. So this is basically what we added here. So now when you add a class for Firecrest, the minimum amount is 1, and you cannot have a fractional CPU because Firecrest forbids it. It works in a backward compatible way in the sense that if some resource classes were created with the default value, which is 0.5, it would still round up to at least 1, so it wouldn't fail. And now we can just put the int if we want. Well, we can't because we're not forwarding the platform, but any AMD 64 type of CPU HPC node would go fine. And here we could have either debug normal or whatever. And we can choose either to forward the resource class value or just to keep them as information for the user. So this was one part of the job. I will show later how it works. Another thing I added is I reworked a bit the resource pool. I had already reworked the resource pool membership to allow groups, projects, and users, but in the admin panel, we couldn't add them. We had to go through Swagger, but now it's possible to add users, and we have the users here, or groups. If we want to have a group instead, we can just have the group, and we can still add by batch as before. So this one is more on the admin panel side. Let's go back to the sessions. So here I have a small test session. I can custom launch it. And we can see that this new one where I actually do forward the resource values. Okay, let's launch it. Hopefully it will go fast. Okay, so this will be the job number. So far, we're still in the queue. Hopefully, it will launch at some point. Well, while it's launching, let's see yet another thing. So for the Python environment, we had support for pip, conda, poetry, UV, and I also added the support for Pixie. So here we have multiple projects in the working directory. One that's pip, one that's Pixie. It auto detects which one needs to run from this. If we try which Python, you can see that it's the correct one that's activated. When we launch a notebook, we can, oh, interesting. Why is that? Okay, obviously during the presentation. Anyway, if we Pixie install something, Pixie add, sorry. It will add it directly to the pixie.taml and the pixie.lock. And I have to figure out why the kernel has not gotten installed. But yeah, so that's it on this side. Let's see if the session has launched. It has. So we can see we're on the grid. Oh, what was the command? I don't remember. Show. And we can see that the CPU and memory that we asked for is there. So it actually works. And if we look into the session scripts, you can see that these have been added as per the resource class. Yeah. So that's it for me. Questions?
What, and this is, you said this doesn't make any difference for CSCS, but it will make a difference for you.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because CSCS, when you ask for nodes, they allocate a whole node. Okay. And they will simply give you the whole resources for that node by default. In most of HPC grids, nodes are shared for the jobs, so many jobs can run on the same machine. So usually users are expected to ask for the resources they need.
Okay, and then does that mean that you will, I guess you still get, I mean, your usage is not limited. It's just kind of like, this is how much you're saying you should use, and then you may be evicted. Is that how it works on HPC most of the time? Or you will actually
I mean, CPU, you won't get more than what you ask for. So
okay.
If you're starting to launch more than n threads at the same time, then things start to clog here and there. If you ask for fewer memory than you need, then stuff will get OM killed and stuff like that. On top of that, because the nodes are shared, is it still running? It's still running. Because the nodes are shared, you can see that.
You're not sharing your screen anymore, but
sorry.
I was just curious.
Yeah, but we have. I added in the session script a way of checking for free nodes, free ports in the session, so that when we establish the tunnel, we don't get any collision on the ports.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So that means that it opens the way for more for different grids than the CSCS one to also work with Renku.
Great, thanks.
Any other question? Okay. Thanks.
And Samuel, do you have something you want to share today?
Well, yes, I don't have anything to show in the sense that there's no UI associated with that. I mainly worked for my fellow sysadmins to improve stuff around Amalthea. Something as mundane as adding a column to show the age of sessions directly on the command line, which can be useful. Reducing the amount of resources used by Amalthea itself, as well as trying to improve stuff like ingress handling, because up until now, when you had a session in hibernation, its ingress was still active, so people could ping the session that basically not working. So everything now is thinner. As soon as you hibernate a session, its ingress disappears, but it comes back automatically if you reactivate the session. And for the next part of the work, we will try to also reduce how much work Amalthea does, so it has less an impact on the cluster. So basically, that's it.
Okay. Thank you. There's one other topic I want to highlight. Salim touched on it briefly, but I wanted to call out because I think it's of interest to our community is the ability to self-manage your own resource pool. So far, up till now, if for folks that we have provide resource pools for, you've had to get in touch with us to add people to your resource pools. But now, and Jonathan, if you want to share so we can see the UI. Now we have the ability to, as Salim showed, connect a resource pool directly with your group, which means that once that connection is made, then you folks are in charge of who is in that group and they automatically get access to the resource pool as well. So please get in touch with us if you would like to connect to a resource pool.
J'ai changé mon truc avec police TTYD.
Was this a question?
Whose screen are we?
I can share the small UI feature I have for this.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
That camera.
No,
it's
trigger that, yeah.
There is a ghost. A ghost who wants to learn about Renku.
Beautiful, here we are.
Yeah. So yeah, it's related to what Salim showed on the resource pool management. So now for if a resource pool is connected to a group in the group page, we added this here in the info box, the resource pools list of the group. So here, for example, for this group, I have a test private resource pool associated with it. If I go to another group, I have other resource pools associated. And here, if I go to the admin pool, you can see what Salim showed for the managing. You can see the groups, the list of groups here that are linked, for example, to the test private resource pool. So yeah, that's it for this small UI feature.
Thank you.
Great, thanks.
All right, any final questions or comments, either internally from the team or from our community? Alrighty, then in that case, the features that were demoed today will be coming out over the releases over the next couple of weeks. And please get in touch with any feedback or questions.